Hi, welcome back to the flip side of normal. I got some really positive feedback on my first video, and I just want to thank everybody who took the time to watch it and to get a hold of me. It really makes me feel good, and it really lets me know that I'm heading in the right direction, and I want to keep going. So, thank you, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you're joining me for the first time, I strongly recommend you watch my first video because it kind of tells you who I am, what I'm about, my story, things like that, where this blog is going to go and what this channel is about. But I'm going to try and keep this one short today. I'm on a time constraint. So first of all, I want to apologize. My thoughts are going to be all over the place. If I start rambling, if I get loud, if I start talking too fast, I apologize. I'm rapid cycling. I've been rapid cycling for the last couple of weeks. So right now I'm on a mania overload. But I've learned, not like I used to be, I've learned ways to manage it through cognitive behavior therapy and other things. But that's kind of sort of what I have. You'll notice that I'm in a chair and I'm spinning back and forth. I'm sorry if I make you sick. I'm not trying to. It's me trying to focus my brain and to keep me kind of sort of calm down as much as I can. It helps if I can move something. You might notice my hands a lot. You'll notice that I'm not holding the camera like I was in my last video. The reason is because if I was holding it right now, you would get so motion sickness that it would be unreal because my hands won't quit moving. So what you're going to notice a lot is my hands will fly up every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm trying to keep them interlocked and around my leg. It helps me keep my hand motions down. The problem with my hand motions down, number one, it's annoying, and I know this. Number two, makes me seem aggressive, and I'm not trying to be aggressive. And number three, the faster my hands move, the faster my brain goes. If I can keep my hands from going, a lot of times it helps me keep my brain from moving fast too. I know, kind of weird. I don't know if it's a real thing or not. It's my thing. I don't know what to tell you. With this video, I just wanted to, and the other thing is, you'll hear me say a lot. You'll see me look away a lot. I'm not doing it on purpose, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to. It's just me trying to refocus my brain, because while I'm trying to focus on one topic, my brain has other ideas. Many, many, many other ideas. Anyhow, so before I start rambling, let me get into what this one's about. This one's about what bipolar disorder means to me. This isn't what bipolar is to everybody. This isn't the definition of bipolar disorder. It is what bipolar means to me. Just what it says, what it means to me. I really have two phases of my bipolar. I have manic and depression. I know that's like the two main, but some people have other things. I mean, you can have hallucinations, delusions, and things like that. I don't have that with mine. I have mania and I have depression. The depression for me is really bad. Not as bad as a lot of people. It can get bad. And it used to get really bad before I knew really what I had and before I was treated for it and started educating myself on it. But I guess the main feeling is, have you ever watched a horror movie where you see the person and they're either in a hole or they're in a lake or something, and then all of a sudden these corpse arms start grabbing at them and pulling them under the water or back in the hole? That's kind of sort of what it feels like to me. When the depression takes hold of me, it feels like there are 1,000 dead arms all over my body trying to pull me down into the deepest abyss of hell, and no matter how much I fight or struggle or kick or how much I don't even want to feel that way, it doesn't matter. I'm going down. It takes me some time to reach back up. Sometimes I can do it on my own. Sometimes I can take medicine to help me do it. Sometimes it's just a healing process and it's just time, and eventually I snap out of it. The difference between bipolar depression and typical depression, about the easiest way I can put it is, your bipolar depression is more of you are constantly feeling depressed. It takes hold stronger. It takes hold faster. Your typical depression, you usually have something that triggers it. Failed relationship, financial hardship, death in the family or of somebody close. And so you start spiraling, and you spiral. You start out feeling a little bit depressed, and then you get more and more and more and more and more. With my bipolar depression, you'll see me say I'm not saying this is like this for everybody. With my bipolar depression, it comes on with no warning, and 9 times out of 10 there's no trigger. I literally, and this is no joke, I can go to bed having the best day ever. Today could be the best day of my life. I could win the lottery and everything could be going right for me. I go to bed. Tomorrow I could wake up and I could be so severely depressed that I don't want to live anymore. And that's no joke. I mean, that's how quickly it takes hold of me overnight. It's that simple. I don't know why. And I think that frustrates me, and it angers me, and it makes it even worse. Because then I start to realize there really is something wrong with me. I mean, there's something wrong with all of us. But, when I get into that point, it just makes me realize that I'm not like everybody else. Because most people can go, oh, I'm so depressed because my grandpa died last week, or, my boyfriend left me, or, I'm broke. But me, I'm just like, I'm so depressed. Why? I got nothing. I don't know. I just am. I don't, I don't want to do anything. I force myself to do things because I have to. I'm a mom and I'm a wife, so I have people depending on me. I'm not alone. If I can tell you that if I was alone and I didn't have a husband and I didn't have any kids, I don't know that I would still be alive. And that's not kidding. I mean, I've reached lowest points in my life that I told you about one of them low points in my last video. I don't know if I'd still be alive today if it weren't for me having kids and a husband. Because especially in the last few years, I've gone through some stuff, different vlog for a different day. And my depression and stuff has gotten really bad and really low. And my family really keeps me going. And I do things because I have to. And that's how I look at it. I don't want to, but I have to. A lot of the other thing with my depression is it makes me irritable and more angry with people. And it causes a lot of problems in my family, especially with my kids and my husband. I end up sometimes mistreating people that I shouldn't, saying things that I shouldn't, being angry for no reason, and it can be confusing. I mean, it confuses me, and I have it. I can't imagine what it's like being a child and being confused of why is mom yelling at me? I simply asked her was to get me some popcorn, and she's freaking out, I mean, I don't want you to think I sit here and scream at my kids, but it's like, if I'm sitting on the couch and I'm in my really depressed phase and one of my daughter comes up and, hey, Mom, can you make me a bag of popcorn? I'm just like, oh, my God, I just want to sit here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not really yelling at them. I'm just speaking out loud. But then being a child, how do you think they take it? They take it personally, like, oh, my gosh, all I did was ask her to, okay, I'm not going to ask her to do anything else for me, and it makes my kids scared sometimes. I know it does. And I try not to be like that. I mean, but in the end, there's really nothing I can do about it. I feel bad. My 11-year-old, I've kind of explained to her so she knows. The 4-year-old, she'll learn. She really does. She's really smart. My poor husband, I mean, he's put up with a lot, and I love him. And I always tell everybody that it takes a special kind of person to deal with me, even just as a friend. I don't have a lot of friends because I'm hard to get along with, because when I'm in a phase, I don't have a filter, and that goes for both manic and depressive. I don't have a filter. And I know a lot of us be like, I don't have a filter either. Okay, and I'm a bitch. Yeah. Okay, you can act like it, but I seriously don't have a filter. Like, I mean, some of my friends could probably tell you most horrible things I've ever said to them. And even family, too. I don't mean to. I don't want to, but I do. It's just me. I told you in my last video, a big thing with bipolar disorder is impulse control. We don't really have any. And it kind of goes along with the filter. The other side of my bipolar, before I get too far off, is mania. When I'm feeling manic, my voice goes up. My mannerisms get more aggressive and rapid. My speech gets pressured. My thoughts start bouncing. I get really hyper, which you would seem hyper, but it's like overly hyper to a point where I can't sit down. I can't stop walking. I physically hurt myself. Honestly, literally, I physically hurt myself because I am walking so fast. I'm moving so fast. I trip. I run into things. I've ran into my kids and knocked them down. Like, I don't mean to. I mean, I've tripped coming up steps, and I know we all do that every once in a while, but this is because, like, I'm going too fast, and my feet can't keep up. I'm literally moving too fast for my body. That's what it feels like. The best way I can feel like when I'm going up is it feels like that helium balloon that you get from the store, and you walk outside, and you either accidentally or on purpose, like, let the string go, and the balloon starts to float to the sky, and eventually it just, like, disappears into the clouds. And eventually it's going to come down somewhere. We don't ever see it come down, and it never comes down to us. That's kind of how I feel when my mania kicks in. I'm a helium balloon floating up in the sky. I've now learned ways through counseling and management and just educating myself that I can sort of bring myself down. Meditating, music, things like that. But I still have times where I can't. And I'm starting to get really manic now as I'm going. I'm just trying to keep myself focused. But that's kind of sort of what it feels like to me. And it makes me feel good because I got more energy and I'm motivated and I do things. The problem is I don't just do one thing at a time. I start with one thing and I end with like 50 things. Why? Because I start with this one thing. I'm like, oh, let me wash the dishes. And then I look to my right and I look at the refrigerator and it's got a speck of dirt on it. So I take my dish rag and I go out of the dish. Now I'm not done washing dishes. I just take my dish rag and I go and I wash the spot. And then I start looking at more of the refrigerator and I realize that it's all dirty. So now my dishes are sitting in the sink and I'm over here washing my refrigerator, the outside of it. Well, I open up the door to wash the top of the door. I look in there. Oh, the shelves are dirty. There's leftovers in there that have probably been in there for like 3 days. This is almost empty. That's almost empty. That's been sitting in there for a while. Oh, somebody's cup is in there full of milk that they put it. My kids put their milk cups in the refrigerator. I don't know why. They're not going to drink them. Just dump them down the drain. But, so now, okay, now my dishes are still sitting in the sink. I've not even finished washing the outside of the refrigerator. Now I'm pulling stuff out of the drawers, the inside of the refrigerator, because now I'm cleaning in there. Okay. So then, do you see where I'm going with this? And then doing that, maybe something else catches my attention. And so now I'm on to this over here. But do you understand where I'm going? I'm just trying to give you an idea of how it is. Like I start doing that one thing and that one thing can lead to 50 because I'm now thinking of a bunch of other stuff to do. The problem with that is you might think, well, wow, you have a really clean house. But see, no, you don't. Because at the end of the day, them damn dishes that I started with are still sitting in the damn sink. Why? Because I have wasted 4 hours doing the 50 other things I've got sidetracked from, not finished any of those yet either, and these dishes are still sitting in the sink. And now my manic phase is over. I'm done being manic. I have no motivation. I have no energy. And I'm back to normalcy. Normal people wash the dishes. So you see what I'm left with 50 projects and I'm done being manic and I don't want to do them. And now I've created a big mess for me. I've got my refrigerator torn apart, dirty dishes in the sink, and who knows what else I've got around my house going on. And now I have to finish them. I have to put the food back in. I have to wash my dishes. We need dishes. But I don't want to. And so now the struggle becomes, I don't want to do it, and now I have to do it. So now I'm overwhelmed, and I'm anxious, and my anxiety goes to the roof. And so now I'm snapping at everybody because I'm angry at myself because I just caused myself a whole bunch of work that I didn't want to do in the first place. So do you see, like, where I'm going with my mania? It's nothing crazy. Like, I know people who engage in risky behavior. I don't do that. I did when I was a teenager. I don't do that as an adult. But I mean, it's just sort of kind of things like that. As like one day I scrubbed my kitchen floor for 4 hours straight. I've sold my car on an impulse when I was manic. I put us in a really bad position. We didn't have another vehicle. I've texted everybody in my contacts and my phone. And at the time, I think I had somewhere 60, 65 people and told them I love them. You're talking about people, yes, people I've known all my life and I really do love. And then people that I barely know. Yeah, no, you come off a little crazy to strangers when you start texting them how much you love them and how much they mean to you out of nowhere. Like, literally haven't talked to this person in a month, and all of a sudden now I'm telling you how much you mean to me. You see what I'm saying? So My mania is bad, but I can live with that mania. It's nothing that puts anybody else at risk. And like I said, I've known people with the risky behavior. A lot of people have shopping addictions during a manic phase. And they struggle because it puts them in debt financially. But so it's nothing that bad. I mean, I know it's annoying to my family and friends and anybody like listening to me within distance because I sort of kind of dominate everything conversation wise. And I'm loud. And like I said, you know, I start talking with my hands a lot when I get faster and I'm moving and rambling, and it can be confusing too, you know. And it can be scary, I guess, for the kids. Like, they don't understand why I've got the house torn apart, you know. I mean, it's nothing like you're sitting here saying, well, yeah, but you're cleaning. But they don't know that. They walk in, the whole freaking house is torn apart. And they're like, Jesus, Lord, mom's done flipped her lid. You know, so I mean, that's about the worst part of it, though. That's what it feels like for me. And that's sort of where I go. I'm not everybody, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of things, because the other thing that happens with me in my phases is my memory, for lack of a better term, is for shit. I don't mean to cuss so much. That's another thing. When I get manic, I start cussing like a sailor. Like, I would embarrass sailors with my mouth sometimes. Like, I would have Navy sailors who have been at sea for a year and nothing wrong, like, they be blushing and like hiding their face with my mouth sometimes when I get manic. It gets bad. But no, seriously, back to my memory. My memory is not good when I'm like that. If I'm in a state of normalcy, I can remember things. When I start either getting manic or depressed, I can't remember anything, and my memory is gone. Like, I just recently, I was in a manic phase, and I'm like running around, I'm cleaning my house, like it's springtime, and I realized that an hour before that, I was supposed to have gone and got my grandsons off of the school bus. They literally had to get taken all the way back to school because I forgot to go get them off the school bus. I mean, and we can laugh and joke about it, but like at that moment, I was crying. I was hysterical. I was so worried that my stepdaughter was going to be mad at me. I was worried about my grandsons were going to think, you know, and how I just, like, how scared they must feel and stuff like that, being left at the bus stop and nobody get them, and it just made me feel horrible. But that's what happens. Like, I was manic, and I just, everything went right out of my mind. I don't remember anything I have to do. So that's kind of why I start rambling after a while, which is pretty much what I'm doing now. But I'm going to cut it off here because I don't want to start rambling, and I don't want to get into another thing that I want to make another blog. But that's kind of what bipolar disorder is to me. Some of it. It's just kind of like a basic look into it. What I hope to do is to catch each and every one of my phases. I hope to be able to do a vlog one time when I'm depressed, one time when I'm manic, one time when I'm anxious, you know, in my different phases, so that you can kind of see what it looks like, because it's a lot different to see it than to hear it explained. But I have, you know, I'm limited on when I can video. I've got my family here. I don't like really doing it a lot when people are around, because I kind of feel self-conscious. I'm talking to myself, because I pretty much am. But, so hopefully I get them on video for you. And I hope that you've made it to the end, and if you have, congratulations and thank you. I know I start rambling, but I have a lot of vlogs a lot of topics that I want to kind of touch on in the future. So I'll be vlogging, you know, as not every day, but, you know, hopefully often enough. If there's ever anything that you want me to discuss, a question that you may have, like not even pertaining to me or my, just a question, maybe you know somebody who has bipolar disorder and you kind of have a question about it, ask me. If I have personal experience about it, I am an open book, people. I am telling you, I will talk to you and tell you anything you want to know. Ask me anything. If there's a topic that you want me to discuss, anything like that, just tell. I don't know what you guys want to hear unless you tell me. If you know, kind of want me to address something, maybe you have bipolar disorder and you kind of want, there's something that you want other people out there to, you want to say to somebody, but you don't want to say it. You know, maybe you want to tell them like things to do or not say to you, or things like that. Like, I'll do it for you. I'll be your outlet. So you could play this video and be like, look, listen to this lady. She knows what she's talking about. If I have knowledge of it. Just, you know, you can comment below my videos. I'm hoping to one day make a Facebook page to go along with this YouTube channel, but I kind of want to see how the YouTube channel goes first. Um, that way I know where the page is going to go, and at that point you could private message me if you don't want to leave a public comment. I don't know if there's any kind of messaging on YouTube. I'm not familiar really with YouTube that much yet, but you know, you can always just reach out and ask me in the comments. For those of you who know me personally, you can reach out, private message me any way you can. You know, you all have my contact information. So, but until the next time, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you hang in there with me while I learn and sort of go through my journey. But I'm trying to come up with a good catchphrase to say to end all my videos. So when I find it, you'll know. But until then, see ya is all I have.